we are live. Now we are back to every Saturday. Yes, there was an exception last week with the Sunday, but normally every Saturday we see each other at 11 in the morning, Luxembourg time. This timing is always so confusing, you know, when it's written Central European or Central Time. So Luxembourg time. If you want to check on Google, what is the time in Luxembourg in Europe? Yes, Luxembourg, Europe. You check, and like this, it's easy to convert to your hours if you are not from Luxembourg, right? So my name is Christina. The channel name is Christina Health. Here we are talking about weight loss, how to look slim, but doing it through the healthy way, you know, so that the weight loss is the result of our healthy habits. Yeah. And today's topic we have how big your portion should be, you know, how big your food portion should be. And if you've been following me for some time now, you probably know that with me, it's not straightforward. I will not tell you, eat 200 grams, 200 grams of chicken and no. I tried it, I went through that, I went through dieting. I looked so much worse than I do now. And I was dieting and losing weight, and no, all these, you know, especially for a woman, all the control, all the calorie counting, weighting the food, it doesn't work so well, because woman is also about, you know, soft power, but soft, and intuition, and, you know, feeling yourself. And I would say it's very much connected to the eating as well, yes, to the food. So first thing I would say about portions, so first thing, how much you should eat, yes? So how much you should eat until you feel satisfied. Hello, oh, okay. So, you know, normally if we eat just maybe couple bites, we might already not feel the physical hunger. Okay. So we might not feel the physical hunger, but we will be very hungry if we just eat two spoons, you know, and we stop. We will feel very hungry after, very fast. So then there is this psychological satisfaction after, yes? First is physical, and then psychological. So you should stop until you are psychologically satisfied, yes? The problem here is that in, like, nowadays, in our fast moving world, we have so much stress, and we lose that contact with our body. We lose the signals. We don't understand anymore, when am I satisfied? When should I stop eating? How much? How big portions should be? How much should I eat? And another point here is that if I don't know if I have a video, maybe I have to create that video on portion sizes, because we have a system how we eat. We have a system, so always, but in any case, I always repeat that. So half of the plate we have greens, vegetables, salad. The best cooking method would be steaming or boiling. Yeah, steaming or boiling. Half of the plate is always the greens, yes, the vegetables, the greens. And you should start with that. You should start with that side of the plate, yeah. Then 1/4 we have protein, and 1/4 we have carbs. And if you eat like this, in that way, the portions can be, it doesn't matter what size. if you eat in those proportions, so you see, there are some rules, but we also have to be flexible and very connected to ourselves. I'm just looking. Yeah, hi. Yeah, so that would be the system of the plate. And then the size of that plate doesn't matter until you feel satisfied and you don't want, basically, psychologically, to eat anymore. Now, how to hear those signals? How to hear those signals that now maybe I should stop eating? Yeah, it's really complicated. It's really complicated because if you've ever had a craving, yes, if you've ever had a craving, maybe you were dieting before and you try to control, you use your willpower to not to eat. I will not eat, I will reduce my portions, I will eat as least as possible. And then you have the craving and it's like some higher power takes over, and you just go to the shop and buy that ice cream and cookies, and or you say to yourself, oh, I will buy the cookies, but I will just eat one, and it never works, right? So yeah, how do we stop that? How do we work with that? And that's very complex. That's very complex. I'm just looking a little bit the comments. Yes, so what are you saying? What am I saying? Well, I'm speaking about weight loss here, okay? And if you have any questions related to the weight loss, please don't hesitate to write now in the comments. We can discuss them, or I will maybe discuss it in the next live as well, or create a video for you. But now you have direct opportunity to ask any question related to weight loss. Hey. Yeah, okay, so let's continue. Basically, how do we hear our body's signals when to stop to eat? As I mentioned before, the portions, it doesn't matter, as big as you want, but it's when you are connected to your signals, body signals, when you're connected to when you feel your body, When we are running, we are not sleeping, we have stress, we maybe don't have good boundaries with other people. We don't hear anymore ourselves. We don't hear the signals which our body tells us or what it wants, What can I stop eating? No, I don't want to eat that much. You don't want to eat that much. What do you mean? You don't want to eat at all? You mean, or you don't want to eat much? And why do you want to stop then? If you could clarify, it's Emerico Franco, yes? If you could clarify that question, what do you mean? Because you say that you want to stop eating, but you don't want to eat. Okay, I want to eat some, but I just want to lose some weight, like that I could be skinny. I want to eat some, but I just want to lose some weight. Okay, basically, probably you want to lose weight. Is that correct? If you could tell me if that's correct. If I understood properly, that you want to lose weight and you want to eat not too much. Is that the question? Yeah, how to eat how to eat healthier, it's a very broad topic. Let's start already with the information which I just mentioned, that your plate for the main dishes, so would be lunch and dinner, they are divided in three parts. Half of the plate, greens, vegetables. Can you please write me if you put enough greens or vegetables in your plate? Do you have enough of that? For the lunch and dinner, For lunch and how many times per day do you eat? How many times per day do you eat? Yes, yes, probably to the question, yes. Okay, okay, no. So I can see here we have like a question sticker. I will try it for the first time. Do you, the question will be, is half of your plate greens, vegetables? So please, if you can answer that, is half of your plate greens and vegetables? It will be a very nice for you analysis, you know. I don't know if you see that question now. I put a question. I always eat balanced, probably, yes, to stay healthy. Okay, what is balanced for you? What is balanced for you? Can you please write in the comments? How do you imagine it's balanced? Because before I was thinking that I eat balanced. Okay, I don't like this question here. Whatever, I delete it. You can just write in the comments. So I thought that I'm eating healthy. I was eating low fat, low calorie stuff, always restricting myself, yes. Trying to eat as least as possible, doing all the juice cleanses and everything. And is that healthy? Would that be considered healthy? You know, we think maybe yes. Sorry. And it's a process, you know, it's a long process. And when I was at my point B, my portions were quite big. My portions were very big, actually. I eat now quite a lot. But the result is so much more sustainable and better for me. Yes, of course, yes. Avoid sugar and fast food. And again, we go to the question, why do we want that sugar, you see? And this is also connected to our topic of today, how big the portion should be, how much food should I eat. The question here is, when you eat, or why do you crave sugar, for example? Why do you want to eat a lot? You know, why? Let's go deeper. Let's go into habits. Do you sleep enough? If you don't sleep enough, you will want to eat more naturally. So you see, it's very complex. And avoid sugar. But like I said, you know, yes, we can avoid sugar, and then we will have a craving and your willpower will be finished there. You will just run to the shop. I don't know if anyone had this. If yes, please share, would be very nice to read. But like, you just have this, you try with the willpower, you try to say to yourself, it's okay, I will not eat, and then you just go to the shop, you buy the, you know, the cookies, the ice cream, and you just eat it all, and then you just cry. I think which, yeah, and fast food, yeah, of course, you know, of course. And if you don't have sugar at your home, it's really easier not to consume it. Yeah, so you can just go at your, you know, in the kitchen and check, what do I have here, you know, because it's you know, we are used to things. We are used to things, yes, and it's difficult to go outside and analyze, because often my clients also often they say, but I don't eat sugar. I don't eat sugar. Oh no, I don't eat, you know. And then we start to write journal, food diary, yes. And then we see that, oh my God, here it's sugar. This is sugar, you know. So even when you think you avoid sugar, a lot of sugar can be in the processed food. But yes, like fast food, you know, we don't know, but we have to read the ingredients as well. So my advice in general for today's topic, my advice would be, yeah, there are a lot of points. There are a lot of points and it's very individual. We have to analyze each case separately. Because sometimes, for example, I had a client where she was consuming sugar because her dad liked sugar and he passed away, unfortunately, and she had this kind of connection with him through this sugar. Can you imagine? You know, this is like very complex. She wanted to kind of be connected, stay connected to her dad, and she did the same what he did. He liked sugar and she felt loyal, let's say. Yes, she felt she's staying loyal to her dad through repeating his habits of sugar, eating sugar, you know. So it's very deep, but my main advice would be to use techniques which will connect you to your intuition. And I'm not talking only about meditation and like yoga, you know, it's, for example, go to sleep on time. Go to sleep on time. Next day, you will feel so much better. You will, you know, when we don't sleep, everything, like when we don't, yes, when we don't sleep enough, when we go to sleep too late, we are so much more irritated. Everything annoys us. We want to eat more. We don't hear ourselves, you know, we are not in balance. So little things like that, you know, to get back to yourself, to connect to yourself. It will be sleep. It will be some techniques where you slow down, breathing deeper, you know, deeper breathing. That would be meditation. Again, if you never tried meditation, I always thought that, oh, if you meditate, you are some, you know, yoga girl, and not at all. Every person can meditate. Doesn't matter what is your job. 5 minutes per day in the morning and in the evening before sleep, just to center yourself. Like after this life, I will do that. I will do the meditation. Yeah. Also, not doing enough exercise. You should be doing it every day. And I'm not talking about lifting heavy weights every day and straining yourself and having even more stress because you don't like it. No, movement, consistency, movement. Yeah, and then you connect to yourself, you start to be more stable, you start to feel what you want when you want to stop eating. And yes, of course, you should, if you see, also another point is that the gut bacteria, yes, our bacteria in the belly, it sends, there is the connection with the brain, and it sends signals to your brain to search for the same food which you are eating, yes, because they want to feed. They want to feed and they send signals to the brain. So the more of a certain food you eat, the more you want it. So you just have to kind of rewrite, if you're not eating too healthy, you know, you just have to rewrite your gut bacteria. The healthier you eat, the more you get used to that, because often when you eat sugary food, a lot of salt, normal food, by the way, normal healthy food doesn't have to taste plain. You can for sure put a lot of spices. You should put salt for sure. Salt is good for us. It's mineral which we need. You should be putting all of those things. Oils, you can make your own sauce, you know. If you really need to put sauce, you can make your own. For example, mayonnaise, you know, mayonnaise, you can just take egg, oil and spices and just blend with hand mixer. You blend it and you have like sauce or like mayonnaise. So it's not, yeah, it's not difficult. I am myself quite lazy in cooking. So actually it works for me very well because I just put whole products quickly, you know, quickly. Of course, maybe my problem is that sometimes there is some lack of variety, for sure. I should maybe include more of the variety. Sometimes it's maybe too plain, but it's tasty. I will not eat something which is like, you know, a boiled chicken breast with rice. No, a lot of spices, oils, healthy oils, you know, has to be tasty. You have to like what you eat. You have to enjoy. And I went a little bit off topic. What I was saying, that yes. So, and the more food like this you eat, the more you get used, your gut bacteria is used. Once you feel the difference, how good it can be, you don't want to go back. Okay, I will just check what you wrote. I eat a lot of vegetables for meal dinner. You'll eat a lot of vegetables for dinner. Well, you should include, if you want some progress, yes, I would at your place, I would include vegetables in the lunch as well. Like we said, for the main meal, half of the plate to include in the lunch as well, lunch and dinner. If you put, like for example, today my breakfast was oats with banana, pear, and cucumber cucumber and some herbs, some green herbs. So yeah, there was vegetables in the morning for breakfast is good as well. Eat a lot of vegetable, not good soy. I understand. Yes. Hi. Thank you. Okay, so please, more questions if you have anything, because to conclude how much to eat, you have to hear yourself. You have to hear yourself basically when to stop. I gave you the system of the plate. That would be for lunch and dinner. Half plate of the plate is half plate of the plate. half of the plate will be vegetables, greens. You can mix whatever you want, how you want. 1/4 is carbs, 1/4 is protein. How big will be the portion will depend on you, how big appetite you have. Very like clear and easy. But then the complex part is, how do I understand that? How do I feel that my body is satisfied now, you know? So voila, in any case, that's what we are working in the private sessions. If you would be interested, the link is in the profile. And there we can really look into that individually. You know, it's always better to be supported individually in these things, because there's a lot of advice out there, and sometimes we get confused also. There's so much information. Voila. Okay, so if there's no more questions, if there are no more, okay, another question. So, is always same meal bad for lunch? Look, again, this is not a straightforward answer, because we want some rules. Our body likes routine. Our body likes routine and predictability. You know, often when we have schedule of how we eat, like I eat at 12, at 6, at 12, at, like, let's say that you eat always at the same time, the body starts to prepare. The body knows that, oh, around that time, I will get my meal. I will eat around that time. On the other hand, it's good to have variety as well, because different vegetables will have different composition of vitamins and, you know, elements, and to have variety is good. That's my problem a little bit, that sometimes I yeah, like I said, I'm a little bit lazy in cooking. So sometimes I would just eat the same, and I get bored from the same food, and then I'm like, oh, wait a minute, there are different vegetables. And yeah, so in the meals, variety is good. You can like I do often, for example, for breakfast, if it's banana in the oats, for 1 week I have banana with the oats until I'm fed up with banana, and then I eat I put some other fruits or berries, I function a little bit like that. You have to look individually into that, and you have to feel what your body sometimes, like, it even tells you that, okay, today I need this product, today I need this, today I don't want that. That is enough, I want this today. Okay. I mean, do you always every day eat the same for lunch? Like literally every day for years now? Probably not. But it can be similar. It can always be something similar. And if it's healthy, then it's very good, If on top of that it's healthy, then it's of course better. Okay, any more questions? Write, please, what would you like to talk about in the next live as well? This video will be saved, not immediately. Normally it takes a little bit of time. And then you can also write any questions under that video later, yes? If you don't know what to ask now. Otherwise, it would be nice to see you in the next live, again on Saturday, the same time. Normally it's always the same time unless there's some kind of exception. And yeah, and I always write it in the posts if there's an exception or what's the topic of the next week. So I would be very, very happy to answer your questions, if any more. And if not, then we are going to end the live here today. But like I said, if you still have something to ask, if you want to know something, don't hesitate to write a comment later. Okay, so otherwise, have a nice day and see you in the next live. Bye.